Okay, that was a bit pathetic, okay. Right, this is my, I don't know, probably 10th attempt trying to get, oh gosh, I've done it again. I'm trying to do this in 10 minutes, so let's start really quickly. Okay, now I've got a few screens open here just to show you as quick as I can where, why, everything. This first one is video blog. Is in short to explain why I'm doing 100 over the course of the next probably 6 months, 3 months, all about the internet and how to use it, how to avoid the digital jungle nightmares that lie in wait. I call it a digital jungle, and the webcast, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, will be based upon loosely the internet and how not to get caught out, and from how to make $1 million, how to lose $1 million, how to build a website properly, at least how to keep an eye on the guys who are building it for you, if they know what they're doing, how to find a good company. I have absolutely no financial interest in this at all. I wrote canyoutrustthem.com. You may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it. It is at the moment, or it was, still is I think, the world's biggest name, shame, claim site. It's a free claim site and it's very powerful, very popular with 30 million people that have been on it over the course of the last several years. It's fully automated, so it doesn't cost me a lot to run it. As you see, I don't put any advertising on there, and there's a good reason for that. The reason being, as people put complaints on, if we use Google, say AdWords for example, they would be popping any company up there to get revenue streams, both for them and myself. But the problem was, quite simply, the people advertising were very often the people that we had complaints about, so that really wasn't a good tie-up. The only solution to that was writing another algorithm, which I'd have to set up my own advertising system, which isn't difficult and much more profitable. But there was other situations with that, which I won't go into today, but they're very simple, a bit long-winded, but very simple to set up an advertising system. So basically a really quick search to making sure that that company's not been complained about. But there's a bit more to it than that, because obviously you would be every second having to change the companies, but it can be done, and we'll look at doing that later. But at the moment, I don't take a penny from it. It's obviously quite valuable because 30 million people have created quite a big database. That's another reason why I don't make any money at all, because I don't sell data. This is the reason, or one of the reasons why it is a digital jungle. The most expensive sites you will probably ever use are not Amazon, in my case, are the free apps and websites, and we all know the big ones, social networking, etc., because they have an enormous amount of metadata on you. And if you've got a mobile phone, they know your life, they know who you meet, where you go, what time you have your coffee, where you buy your coffee from, what shops you go in, everything about you, literally more than you'll ever know yourself, because they have a memory forever, and a very, very accurate memory. Now we're going to talk about breaking mobile phones. What I need to do, I need to speak to my lawyer and lawyers in each separate department, so I'm not infringing or not going near various laws or over the top or inside, because the website is very loosely governed. Nobody really owns it as such. It's sort of each country defines their own internet manual. You go to China, you can't do a damn thing. You go to Mongolia, which sounds crazy, but a lot of hosting companies, a lot of hosting is done there. We actually host various sites there because we can do more there. And if you want to blow the whistle on a big company who have a lot of pull or a lot of power, you have to be somewhere where you can't be taken down overnight, which happens probably millions of times a day, literally across the globe. But why I wrote Can You Trust Them? Loosely, sorry about these headphones, they're keeping my neck warm. I've got a bit of a cold. So, why I wrote it was I'm just trying to be legal, litigious, not to break any laws, and certainly not be in contempt of slander or something very similar. Right. Rule of thumb, by the way, slander is only slander if it's not true. If it's true, you can never be processed, charged, whatever, with slander, which is very, very obvious, but a lot of people don't realise that if you write such a person is a burglar, it's not slander if they are a burglar. So that's got nothing to do with really what I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now with, oh my God, 6 minutes, ridiculous. Okay, straight into it. Can you trust them? If you just go on the page and it tells you exactly what it is, what it does. The reason why I wrote it was I set up a company called Griffin Finance, two friends after about 18 months. They walked away with 20 million. I walked away with 1.35 or thereabouts, maybe 1.5. We fell out initially over a VAT issue. We got the VAT back. We went into VAT redemption, which basically meant we got all the VAT back that any client paid us. Let's not forget that any income is client income. We don't put money in that sense, or a great deal. We just, whatever we pay, we obviously pay VAT on top. But as turnover goes, all our clients pay us 20% VAT. And my argument was, now given I had, without sounding like a plonker, I had significantly more money than my two then partners. I made them both partners. I gave them 25% each. I guaranteed them £50,000 a year if the company folded. So, which it wasn't because it had been going and it was very profitable already. So I guaranteed them, they came on board, and then a couple of years later they called me and said, oh, we're thinking of leaving, setting up shop ourselves. I think, God, I'll give you 25% of a company that's worth a lot of money and you're going to leave after I've literally given you everything you've got. And that sounds a bit pretentious, but I did. They were working for a mobile phone shop business and the co-op. Miles Grady was working for the co-op as a bookkeeper of some description, around 30,000 a year each. And the point was, I'd nearly doubled their salary and given 25%, yet they wanted more. So I gave them more because I had no choice. I was living in America. I was working with, I was sitting down having meetings with the sheriff, the mayor. We were doing great business with the film industry. I was best friends with the biggest producers and the directors, which was my dream. Never thought it would happen, but it did. I was sort of a creative digital person, and I was, reasonably good at my job. And I was sort of headhunted in a way. Ended up working with these great people. So I didn't want to come home. I gave them 33% each, and then lo and behold, they approached me to sell my shares based on the figures they'd given me. They were worth 1.5-ish, 1.3, 1.5, I took 1.35, and then it was all over the newspaper. The company had been sold for 20 million, and what I thought it was making, it was not making, because I didn't check, because I was stupid and naive, because when you have two friends, and you've known for a long time, and you've given 33% of your business, and you've made them directors, and you give great company cars, and you never really fall out at all. I was very forgiving, despite seeing Mr. Holmes in a £147,000 Porsche Turbo when he was supposed to be in a £20,000 BMW. I think I was pretty forgiving. Anyway, that's pretty annoying even to think about today, but I wrote Can You Trust Them to basically name and shame them, which I did. So much so that the 20 million they took in set up Pay Matters, I dissolved that company in 6 weeks because I knew what it was doing and they didn't. They tried to manipulate the situation, the web, Google, etc., and they didn't. So much so that if you type in here, there's so much more than 15 minutes I need, or 10 minutes, sorry, but I'm going to, now normally I wear these sunglasses, well, these, just because I get migraine looking at these screens, but if we type in Miles Grady, comes up there, now straight away we have highlighted, the top one is myself, the full story, we click on it, and we get the whole, pretty much the story. The reason why that's number one is because Google own Word and WordPress and pretty much everything. Great company, Google, amazing company. I know some programs over in California and the stuff they're working on, and it's amazing. But can you trust them? There is the link which creates the power. That's why we're number one. We go back, and I'll tell you all about bounce rates, how to rank your business. You do not need to pay SEO companies unless I'm not going to pretend I know how many people and SEO companies actually rip you off, but I know it's a lot. They have very similar tricks. They charge you for doing really stupid things like buying cheap backlinks to keyword stuffing, all the things that Google penalise you for now. Now, I'll give you an idea how easy it is to manipulate, trick people online. Before, in the later blogs, I tell you how to get around it. Really, really important, because you're trusting these people with your livelihoods. Now, they're in the umbrella business. Now, let me just state the fact. This is a fact. There is, when all these claims of take home 95%, 99%, 18%, whatever it is, are total rubbish. You can't. The UK government aren't stupid, and the HMRC are on the ball. They don't allow you to take home nearly every penny unless you do a Starbucks and have an offshore company back to the UK, taking all the profit out, and even then they get stamped upon and a new law comes out, blah, blah, blah. I won't go into that, that's the latest blog. But as you can see, excuse me, we're pretty much all over. I mean, in images, pretty much everyone goes, can you trust him? If you click on his image, that's Miles Grady. Can you trust him? He's right below him. Business link, a forum there. You can click on here. Can you trust him? Is on here somewhere, maybe a lot. Yeah. Sorry, it is on. It's very prominent. Online business, Miles Grady again. I have looked at all this stuff. There's so much though that I have to remind myself, but we're pretty much all over it, and they found it so difficult to do business. Pay Matters was dissolved, and it's just come up as Umbrella, which we've just flipped a switch, and all the complaints have gone to Umbrella. I'll tell you why Umbrella was such a stupid idea, because Google trading in high profile, high cost domain names is like trading number plates. Google don't just frown, they hate it, because that's another manipulation. They see it as people with big bucks coming in, buying £100,000 domain name and controlling that space. That is the exact opposite of what happens. Now, if you go to Pay Matters website, this is their old website. Now, this is another reason why, let's do it twice, why it's so easy. Pay Matters here. Now, this is just a screen grab of their homepage. Now, I've got to wrap this up. Pay Matters tells you all there, and it's prominently a big glass building. Now, the staff go to work and they must, hang on a minute, we're in Wilmslow, this is a village, there's no skyscrapers. Why are you very, very strongly, let's just say that's not their offices. Their offices are, and you'll find this hard to believe, but it's absolutely true. This file's all on their business. This is their actual office. And you can actually see, I'll have to zoom in a little bit there. You can actually see one of their members of staff if you clean that up, but I'm not going to, because that will be unfair on the gentleman there working. But you can see how you would just assume that this is a great big business. Now, can you trust them? Easy to use, and it really is easy to use. I wrote it so it's super simple.